Hello, welcome to the Courageous Self-Care podcast. I'm your host, Christina Marlette. On the show, we talk about self-care in all of its forms. So often we have a really narrow view of self-care. We think maybe it is getting a massage or going to the spa or taking a bath. And those are all fantastic. And yet if those are our only strategies, there is so much more, and it can make such a huge difference. In fact, I think that in my own personal experience, a life of, on one end of the spectrum, there's a life of chaos and stress and whirlwind and blowing in from one place to the next and always feeling like you're rushing. And then on the other end of the spectrum is peaceful productivity. And for me, the difference between those two ends of the spectrum has been what I like to call courageous self-care. Now, I'm really, really passionate about what self-care can do for people. And I thought, what can I do beyond what I'm already doing? Because I like doing stuff. And so I had a meditation where I got this download for a Courageous Self-Care Festival. And I wrote it all down in my journal after I meditated. And then I went, I don't know what to do with this information. So I closed my journal and put it on my shelf. Until a few months later, the person who could help me showed up in my life. And I said, oh, I already have this all planned. So the Courageous Self-Care Festival is happening very soon here in Calgary. And I have speakers coming and I have vendors coming for a wellness marketplace. It's going to be a day of enrichment and broadening people's perspective on what self-care can be and what it can do for you. And I know lots of you listeners are not anywhere near Calgary. And so I thought, how can I share these amazing people beyond the walls of the festival? And then I realized, oh yeah, I have a podcast. I could feature them on my podcast. And so today I have one of the speakers with me, Heather Driedger. Heather, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Christina.
I'm so glad you're here. And Heather, I'm super excited to hear what you have to say at the festival, but let's get a preview here. So why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you're up to?
Thank you. So, you know how middle-aged women often suffer from menopausal symptoms? Well, as a certified health coach, I empower these women to use natural and innovative ways to reduce and manage their symptoms and actually enjoy this amazing time of transition in their life.
That is so exciting. I am not quite there yet, but last year, for some reason, I was doing a lot of research on menopause, and what kept on coming up was that it is a gift. There is so much that can come out of it, and the solution to all of the issues, all of the problems is self-care. That came up over and over when I wasn't looking at the medical sites that were prescribing medication. On the other side, it was just this opening and this incredible opportunity in your life. So I love that you are showing people specific solutions to it in a natural and innovative way.
Wonderful. Yeah, there's a paradigm that's, menopause is, there's a lot of negative energy around this time in our life, and they'll often hear stories or they've experienced their mother or another friend or family that's had a very negative experience. And truly, women are looking and are open to trying new and innovative ways. And I'm really getting a sense that they don't want to necessarily use the typical medical route. And some of them are not experiencing symptoms yet, and they really want to be conscious of preparing their bodies, and that's foundational. And then I actually have others who are through the menopause, are no longer menstruating, but their hormones are still imbalanced. And every now and again, they'll have another hot flash, and they're, what? Where's this coming from? So, I'm working with that full spectrum of preparing the body and having that nice transition, as well as still working with women that are looking to balance their hormones. And yes, self-care is foundational in the work that I do.
So I love that. Thank you for sharing that. And I get the sense that this topic is really important to you. Why, like, how did you land here and why are you so passionate about it?
So thank you for asking that. I'm 53 and have been on this health journey for most of my life. And yeah, the work that I'm doing, the research, the training that I've had with my health coaching training, the things that I am personally experiencing, they're working.
Mm.
And I feel so empowered, and I can feel those symptoms and the techniques, the resources, what I'm doing, I want to share with others. I want to share my successes. And it's a really challenging time for many of us with not just the physical body, but the things that are happening in our life as well. So it might be, caring for grandchildren, elderly parents. It might be moving through different transitions of different relationships, even careers. We've been at this, for 25 years and we're ready for a change. So on body, mind, and spirit, we need to sort of have this pause. I call it applause for menopause. And we're really transitioning into greater wisdom of how we can move forward with our life and really serve others and ultimately love ourselves.
That is so powerful. And I love, specifically speaking of powerful, I love at the beginning how you said it can be really empowering when you have these symptoms and then you have the solutions, and it helps you walk the path with intention and direction and also openness to possibility.
Absolutely.
So I know you're going to be talking a little bit at the festival about chocolate and how it can be involved in menopause. Do you want to say something about that?
Yes. Women in chocolate. Many years I have incorporated using high vibrational, raw, organic, fair trade chocolate. And this is of a different energy and vibration. And we use this, we call it raw cacao, because that's in its raw state. And my talk is called Divine Feminine Chocolate for Menopause. So I'm incorporating a elixir recipe. So we're incorporating the medicinal mushrooms and medicinal herbs and using this amazing chocolate as that delivery system. And I'll be covering the different components of the ingredients and why they synergistically work together. And of course, it tastes fabulous too. We like things that taste good and that are good for us.
I think your room when you're doing your talk is going to be bursting at the seams, because who doesn't want to use chocolate as medicine?
So I want to just go a little bit into what is an elixir.
Sure.
So it's actually the recipe that I'm providing and be talking about is a hot beverage. And using that hot beverage as a foundation, I have an elixir every morning. It's actually part of my self-care morning routine. And I have multitude of extracts and herbs and medicinal mushrooms that I synergistically combine for my health needs. So I'm going to start very simple with my first recipe at the talk, and the idea is to pique their interest, to dive deeper into the world of elixirs and how we can use that as part of our morning ritual of self-care.
Well, I love a good elixir. They are a great way to upgrade what you're already drinking in the morning and what you're putting into your body. And I think their results can be quite magical.
I think you're right.
All right, so I wanted to share a little bit about courage and self-care. So when initially the idea came to me for courageous self-care, I didn't know what it was all about, but it sounded good. And what I've learned over the past couple of years of delving into it, why it came through that self-care could be paired with courage, it's because most acts of self-care we can be resistant towards. I was just getting, I just got a bioresonance feedback yesterday with very specific prescriptions on what kind of rest is good for me according to the vibration of my cells. And I said to the practitioner, oh, this sounds hard. Like, it sounds hard to get myself to go out in nature regularly, even though I know it's so good for me. It sounds hard to get some more sleep. And that there is resistance because there's some fear around there. And I know for me, it's around, I love being productive, and what happens if I rest, and shouldn't I be working hard? So self-care has, it has this dimension to it that there can be resistance. And so I want to move into this self-care part and see what you define self-care as, Heather. What does it mean to you?
For me, that sense of being calm and at peace and really feeling that centeredness. And I do that through creating a morning ritual. And I schedule my time every morning. I don't book appointments before 9 a.m. And I have my water, and I have lemon and schizandra and goji berries. I have probiotics, some lemon, some salt. I drink 16 ounces of water. And then I create my elixir. I find in the summertime, within the first 20 minutes, I'm outside. I've got a beautiful backyard, and awakening to that sunshine. In the winter, I find often I'll light a fire, and I have a space, a sacred space, and I choose, it might be a meditation, it might be journal writing, it might be doing some yoga, or it might be doing some breath work, or it might be doing an energy movement tune-up. And I don't have time for all of it. So I pick and choose that day what seems to be resonating with me, or it might be a good exercise workout. So I'm really listening and tuning into my body, whether I'm needing some inner reflection, quiet time, or whether I'm really needing some movement to start my day. And, you know, by cleansing and detoxing and hydrating my body first, bringing in this powerful nutrition with my elixir, and setting my intentions for the day through those meditations. And then I take my day timer and I reflect and prioritize. And it's just a real foundational way for me to stay at peace and not feel overwhelmed with what my commitments are for the day. And it really helps me stay focused and stay positive for the rest of the day.
I love and appreciate how you gave us a window into specifically how it shows up for you, and I can feel the impact it has. And I think it's so important that you said you don't do it all. We can definitely overwhelm ourselves with self-care and end up thinking, oh, it's just another list of things I need to do that I wasn't doing before, and now there's even more to do. So picking and choosing and tuning into what is coming up and feeling important that day is the best kind of practice, I think. So thank you for sharing that. So moving into the courageous part on the podcast, I love to get guests to model what it's like to stretch comfort zones from time to time. And so we would love to hear something that not a lot of people know about you.
When I was little, I felt so passionate about our earth and our planet, and I really felt a need to care for our planet. And I loved being outside, and I would play out in the fields. And I actually formed a litter bug club And I made these little paper bags and I put ladybugs and said, don't be a litter bug. And I had a little club and I would hand out these little bags and I would say, please don't throw the garbage out the window. Put it in this bag and put it in the garbage when you get home. And so from a very young age, I've really had this connection with nature and being a steward of the land. And where we live is my great-grandfather's homestead of 1896. And I just have this very deep connection with nature and Mother Earth. And I had numerology done. And yes, in this lifetime, my connection with gardening and Mother Earth is one of my sole purposes. And yes, I started that at a very young age.
Aw, I love that. Thanks for the glimpse into your childhood. The Litterbug Club.
Yep.
That just makes me think my son started the Happiness Club at school a few years ago. And he wrote made a poster for it. And he said, this is the Happiness Club. This is serious business.
It makes us laugh, so it works. No.
Yeah. All right. So Heather, I'm sure people are going to be connecting with you and wanting to know more about how chocolate and elixirs and being a steward of the earth and gardening and moving through menopause with grace and ease. So where can they find you?
So my website is heathershealthcoaching.com. And I have lots of services, products that I have a special page there called Heather's Picks. And as a health coach, I'm very selective in what products and services I support because there's a lot out there. And so I encourage people to go to my website. I'm also an angel empowerment practitioner. So as an intuitive coach, I also offer angel empowerment techniques and hands-on healing. So yeah, Heather at heathershealthcoaching.com.
Excellent. Now at the festival, we are creating sensational swag bags. I've asked all those speakers and vendors to put in something that when the participants reach in and pull it out, they will be absolutely thrilled and super happy. So what is your contribution, Heather?
So my contribution is the Divine Feminine Chocolate Elixir recipe. And from there, they can go to my website and I have a gift of a beautiful Divine Feminine Chocolate meditation.
Oh my gosh, meditating and chocolate together.
So yes, you prepare your elixir and then find the sacred space and I will take you through a beautiful meditation to experience that elixir.
Great idea. So don't walk, run to the festival to get that and all the other great stuff that's going to be in the swag bags. Oh, how could you resist? I love it. So Heather, thank you so much for sharing your time and your passion and your great ideas with us. I really appreciate you being on the show today.
My pleasure.
And for you listeners, if you are not in Calgary, boo-hoo, you should move here because this festival is going to be amazing. But if you are here, hooray for you. And if you're free on Saturday, November 17th, please do join us. As a gift for listening to the show, I would love to give you a complimentary ticket. So you can get that at selfcareticket.com and you'll see a button that says, well, many buttons that say activate your ticket here. Just click on that, register, and you will be in for an amazing day. I would love to see you there and help you broaden your definition and experience of self-care. Thank you so much for listening. I look forward to connecting with you again next time. Bye-bye for now.